Okay, so I normally don't do stuff like this, but I am taking advantage of the fact that I am home alone at the moment. So I'm gonna just do what I normally do in situations like this when I want to draw. um, I know there's been a couple of friends that are asking me to kind of I know there's been like a couple of friends that have been asking me to record myself drawing. I don't normally do it because I feel like I get less inspired when I record myself doing something, but I guess why not? So normally what I start doing is I kind of do like a invisible border around. It's not necessarily 1 inch per se, but enough space. Hopefully you can't hear the sirens outside. If you can, oh well. I should probably just stop talking. Okay. So that's set. Normally I listen to music while I do this, but unfortunately I don't want to listen to anything right now because I want to focus on just drawing. And I know a lot of people like the sounds of like the pencil on the paper, so I'm gonna leave it at just those raw sounds. You can overlay some music. I usually listen to like lo-fi music. Anything that's like currently playing live on YouTube, I listen to. So if you like YouTube lo-fi music, you can listen to that as drawing. So let's see. These past few days have been very, what's the word? Interesting. I feel like a lot has to do with how my state of mind is at the moment, and right now I'm more so like nonchalant, not blissful either, but I just want to find something that I can be proud of in a sense. There's been a lot of opportunities given to me these past few months, but I don't know, I feel like I am personally waiting on something better, which is more so like just in my state of mind, because I know anything at this point is better than not going or not doing something. I feel like we all have our choices in the matter to like do something more than what's given to us. But I feel like we're sort of scared at the same time. I don't know. If you can't really see anything, that's because I am drawing with a blue pencil. And what that does is it helps me outline stuff without it showing up beforehand. And what I've been told is this is what it's like copy not blue, what's it called? It's like copy not blue something. So most comic book artists or sketchers use this whenever they are drawing something that's going to be scanned, because it's an easier way to mask out the color so it won't show up. So it will just leave the initial markings instead of the whole sketch. In terms of drawing styles, I have a variation of drawing styles. I don't know how to call my drawing style. I think it's like very influenced by a lot of like my childhood growing up watching like Disney movies, watching Miyazaki films. Like one of my favorite ones would be, that will probably like drew most of my influences, was like Grave of the Fireflies. That's a good movie. It's a very sad movie. Makes me cry. But like, obviously, you have all those classics like Kiki's Delivery Service, Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind, Spirited Away, of course. But you know, we all draw influence from something, and I feel like that intact is where I keep my influences from. But you know, I also, early Disney films always catch my eye. I kind of want to do something different here. I want to like kind of separate the corner from right here. Let that be the dividing point. Maybe I should draw another one. Kinda right here. Yeah, right here's fine. Let's see. I don't know how people do this. I know the blue, you can't really tell what it is I'm drawing, which kind of sucks because, you know, you just want to see someone draw. But I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know how people do this. They draw and then they just talk and they like ramble, and it's like I can't do that. Which is weird because I always talk a lot at work. Okay. I feel like I'm satisfied with that. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go over it with, I don't know if I should do pencil first. You see, this is where I have the dilemma, because I don't know if I want to use pencil or if I want to go straight like the other drawing, like with pen, that's all color pencil, but let me check something. Usually before I do that, I usually do this. Let's see. Nope. If I outline it the way I usually draw the other one, so it'll be a thick outline, and that's usually done with like a Sharpie. I feel like that'd be fine. but I don't want to ruin the line art. Dilemma. Okay, that's fine. So I'll try to go over it with a light marker. Not light marker, more so a light. What's the word? I can't. With ink. I'll go over it with ink. What I usually draw, like for most of the drawings here, it's mostly a reflection of myself. Kinda how I see myself or how I feel at the current state of mind. And it all varies. Usually I'm like not in the right state of mind, or I'm just overwhelmed or stressed whenever I draw these drawings. I feel like this is the only thing that kind of relaxes me in a sense. I feel like drawing in general has always been a good coping mechanism for me. Kind of like my scapegoat. Something I always found helpful. It's always hard to imagine how suffocating one must feel when they don't have, not necessarily a hobby, but an outlook in a sense. You know, a lot of people do sports, dance, sing. I unfortunately cannot sing, and nor am I good in sports, so I like to think that I'm decent when it comes to drawing. So I like to guide myself with my drawings, kind of reflect with them as well. If I could feel, I would say if I could feel a lot better drawing, then that would, that's the purpose, right? To feel good. But if I'm not having fun with what it is I'm doing, then what's the point, Not necessarily a hobby, but an outlook in a sense. Sorry, I was kind of recording a bit for my Snapchat. I always end up messing up the eyes because I can't draw. It's like, whoop, what happened here? It's a very innocent looking drawing. I wouldn't say it's like a peaking resemblance of who I am, but it's there. Yeah. So there's that. Let's see. I don't know what I want to do with the stripes. I don't know if I want to add something here or if I want to keep it like that. Keep it minimalistic in a sense. Let me check on the camera again. No, it's a little crooked. Let me just... Okay. Okay, that still looks fine. Okay. Now, I feel like my favorite part about doing all this is coloring. Coloring has always been like my favorite aspect of drawing. Um, Mixing colors and all that. I don't know what else to add to this drawing. Sorry, this must be like really boring to watch. Just me talking. Well, listening to me talking and just watching. And a clear, stale drawing. I feel like I will do that. I'll just... Okay. Oh wait. Oopsie daisy. Okay, I don't want to fuck up, so... Yeah. Nope, I'm not getting anything on the paper. There you go. Okay, that looks promising. That looks okay. That looks decent. Okay, let's see. Tapping. Okay. That looks okay. Okay, looks. I feel like this is extremely boring. Sorry. Now, for my favorite parts, coloring. So, I like to blend the colors a lot. I feel like colors have always been my favorite aspect of coloring drawings, or drawings in general. I want to get like the right tones. Okay, I feel like this is fine. Let me adjust myself a bit. It's really hard to keep quiet. Okay. it was the part where I started to get like tired or cramps, especially around my pinky for some reason. Maybe because I'm like always pressing up against it. I don't think I have the most creative art style, but I know like my sister, for example, she always tells me that I should get into webtoons and make some web comics. I always tell her, what type of stories am I gonna make? Who will read them? I'm sure some people would. Yeah, I know they'd be popular by any means, but as long as I get to tell a story that touches a few people's hearts, that's all that really matters. Let's see. Okay. Oof. Oh, and I dropped a color pencil. Thankfully, the point is still intact. the name of this color? True Blue. It's really strong. Jesus. Well, I went with it, might as well just stick to it. Oh my god, okay. What else can I add to this? If I make the skin tone a little sun-kissed. Okay, I think that looks fine. I honestly don't know what to add here. If I make it yellow, how would that look? Something I like to add to my drawings a lot is like flower drawings or like floral designs. Mainly because I like flowers. Um, but I also think that flowers are very keen to um, an understanding of growth and beauty. I always think that flowers are such delicate things that need to be protected, but at the same time they're not. I don't know, I'm just full of contradictions right now. It's not easy drawing flowers either. It's like you have different designs, different design elements that kind of go into it. And you don't want to like fuck it up either. Oops, I swear. You don't want to mess it up. You don't want to mess it up either. Okay. Okay. Very simple. This is probably gonna be one of the most simplest of drawings here, but ooh, that's some strong winds, Chicago. Oh yeah, it's supposed to rain tonight, actually. There was like thunderstorms or something. Oh. Let me make sure it's recording. Okay, it's recording. You know what's the funny thing is that when I think about drawing, I kind of like remember. I kind of remember the first drawing I drew. It was like the most simplest of things. I remember it was like, I think I was in preschool or kindergarten. I think it was preschool. We were drawing like heroes or something, and I remember drawing a police officer. And I remember because he was all dressed in blue, and he had like a hat on, and a yellow badge, and a gun. And I remember that drawing so like vividly. It was just like him. I couldn't spell police, but it was just him there in the drawing. And I remember the teacher would compliment the drawing itself. I'm like, oh, this is a nice drawing. You know how to draw. You know, words of encouragement. And it's like, I was never like a messy child. I never like drew on the walls or anything. Not that I can remember. My mom will probably attest to that, but I don't remember drawing on the walls. But I do remember always having white paper. Always having some form of drawing utensils, pens, Crayolas. Not necessarily colored pencils, but I did have markers. Now I wouldn't like. No, whoa, no, I would not. I would not use Crayolas. I don't like Crayolas. I feel like they have a purpose, and I don't know if I'll ever utilize them for any of those specific purposes I might need them, but for the purposes that they have, they are worth it. But I personally prefer colored pencils. I just feel like I could do more with them. You could probably make these blue. Oh, there goes that true blue. I'll probably do like a little bit of that one. I remember in 5th grade, a lot of people would draw like Dragon Ball Z characters or like Gundams. I don't know if you guys remember those, like G Gundam, Gundam Seed, those robots. I remember a lot of people would draw those too, but they wouldn't be the best drawings in the world, but you know, a lot of kids would draw that. And I remember I would always draw Sonic the Hedgehog, and I'd be like, look what I could draw. Oh, my talents go so far. I was never really that good. At least I think I was never really that good at drawing. But you know, I had a couple of friends who were always admiring my drawings, always asking me to draw them in a cartoon form. I wonder if that's what like every artist goes through. Always has to go through their friends requesting specific types of drawings. Like, you think you're getting this for free? Yeah, you probably are. Nothing says delicate like a rose. I remember in 6th grade. We were doing gymnastics for school, and I was never a big fan of gymnastics, but you have to do it for the credits. And I'm feeling yellow. I feel like I want to put yellow here too. Gonna leave like empty space, yellow, and more flowers up here. We'll see what happens. I'll probably put yellow. Or gold. Nah, that'd probably look ugly. That would yeah, that'll probably look ugly. Let me see. Yeah, I'll stick to this one. What was I saying? Oh, gymnastics. I remember we'll have to like turns, tumbleweeds, or like aerials or whatever we have to do. I remember there was a point where we had to, for a grade, we had to like stack on top of each other and do like a pyramid. And me being the shortest one in the classroom, I was fortunate enough to be on top of that pyramid. I was the one all the way at the top. We had our thickies in the bottom and our thin boys at the top, and that was me. So I remember it was, I wouldn't say it was that, I wouldn't say I was like so high up but I was high enough. Again, I was a very short child, I was a very short kid, I was very skinny, so for me that was like a big height. So I was really high up, and I remember I did not want to do it, but it was for a grade. So I remember I was like, okay, I guess I'll be at the top. And so I remember going up and holding the position for like a good half a minute or something. And I don't know if the kids below me were messing around, or if they just couldn't hold my, oh, there goes a rabbit, or they just couldn't hold my weight, which I don't, again, I was a twig, I was probably like 5'3", like 5 feet, 5'3", and I was like 130 pounds, or 120. Again, I wasn't a thick kid, I was a skinny boy. Let me make sure this is in focus. That looks fine. Okay, I was a skinny kid, so I didn't have any muscular, body structure that could be an offense to people trying to weigh in and carry me. So I remember being at the top of the pyramid, and I don't know if the kids on the bottom were like horsing around or something, but I ended up falling. The pyramid went down. And I remember falling down and then hearing a loud cracking noise. Like, have you ever had Kit Kats? When you're like that. That's what I heard. So I didn't think much of it. I was like, oh, okay. I got up and I saw everybody's face around me like wide open, like face pale, like they looked scared, and I was like, what? And I looked down at my arm, this one to be specifically, I looked down at my arm and I saw this area like popping out, like literally, I kid you not, it's like, that's what my hand looked like. It was like, apparently my two bones were like cracked, so it looked like a giant S. I don't know if that was invisible or not, but anywho, yeah, I was like, oh my god. And all I remember was like me constantly going ow, 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 even though I didn't feel any pain, but it was just the thought of seeing my arm shattered into millions of pieces kind of like stargazed me, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna amputate my arm. So what sucked though is that like during that time too, I was working on an art project, and I didn't get to finish it. I still have that unfinished drawing that I never got to finish. And I had the opportunity, like once the cast was out, like I had the opportunity to finish it, but I don't know, something in me didn't want to finish it. Kind of leave it out for the memories. But yeah, I remember like a bunch of kids were like running up to the teacher, like, teacher, teacher. And she looked and she's like, oh my god, how did this happen? And I was like, the stupid pyramid. I was like, I fell from the pyramid. And she rushed me to the emergency room, and like, they were like, we're gonna have to call your mom and call the ambulance. Don't move your hand. I'm like, yeah, I will not. And I remember they were having problems calling my mom. Like, she just wouldn't answer the phone. And they're like, we can't call your mom. The ambulance is gonna be coming in. And I was like, oh my god, no. And so they contacted my mom and they told her what happened. And if you hear like those weird noises, I'm not farting. Don't think I'm farting. It's just the seat that I'm in. I'm not entirely sitting down on it, so my thighs are kind of just like squeezing into the rubber. I don't know. Let me make sure it's recording. Okay. Let me just make sure it's focused on that. Okay, I feel like that's good enough. Let me actually sit down. What I was saying, so yeah, they called my mom and she didn't believe it, in a sense. I don't know if she believed it or not, but she took her sweet time getting to the school, that's for sure. And the ambulance was already here, well, was already there at the school, and I remember one of the first responders looked at me, he's like, can you feel this? Can you feel that? And he was like moving my fingers and poking them, and I was like, yeah. I'm like, can you move your hand? Like, and my hand was like this, like, can you move your fingers? I'm like, no. He's like, try to move your fingers. I'm like, no. He's like, if you can't move your fingers right now, we're gonna have to amputate your arm. We're gonna have to cut it off. And I was like, I can move them. Oh god, that traumatized me. I was like, oh my god, do not, like, the whole idea of losing my right arm scared me, because obviously I'm right-handed and I do everything with my right hand. I don't know, I was very scared. I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to draw again. I'm never gonna be able to play video games. I'm never gonna be able to write or read. Read, because, turn the page. Like, I thought I wasn't gonna be able to do anything, and the ambulance took me in, and then I saw my mom like running from like a block away, and I was like, wait, don't go yet, that's my mom. And they kind of like held the door for her and like, is this your son? And she's like, yes. And they brought her in, and she's like, oh my god, what happened? And I'm like, I fell and I broke my arm. She's like, what do you mean? And guess what she saw? She was like, oh my god, what happened? I was just like, that made me want to cry, even though, again, I wasn't in any pain. It was more so, I can't speak. It was more so the shock. Let me move this on a little bit so you can see the top a bit. It was more so the shock of, breaking, or, I would say breaking is a good term. Breaking my arm. And the shock of maybe having it be amputated. And then my mom just freaking out on the side like, lady, you're not doing me any favors by freaking out. we went to the hospital, and they took some X-rays. Let me just there. They took some X-rays, and they just wanted to make sure that everything was fine. And they're breaking both the bones, so that wasn't good. And the only way to fix it was for them to crack it back. So they put some weights on my hand to kind of weigh down the bones, and that lasted like half an hour. That had to stay like that, or like around an hour, half an hour. And then when the moment came, I remember there was like a group of 3 doctors that came in, 2 guys and 1 lady, and they were like, okay, so we're gonna have to crack your hand back. If you like, you could look away, but we're gonna have to do this now, or else it's gonna stay a little bit more permanent, and your muscles will kind of get, I don't know, they would give me all these like terms, and I'm like, I'm in 6th grade and I don't understand what you're saying, just fix it. Fix my damn arm. So I remember I was holding the hand of one of the doctors, and I think I might have overdone it. I might have pressed him too hard, because he was like, he's like sinking his nails onto me. And it's like, dude, you're about to crack my hand back in place, and you expect me not to be scared? So, they cracked it back. And obviously I have my arm intact, so everything went well. It was just the idea of not being able to draw or do all of the things that kind of defined who I was at the time, even now. I don't know what I would have done if my hand was amputated. I'm sure I could have learned, I'm sure at that point I could have learned how to write and do some things with my left hand. But I don't know if I would have been able to draw. I feel like I would have been too scared to try. And that would have definitely hindered a lot of the progress I've made since then. Ooh, my hand's getting really cramped. But I feel like, yeah, I'm happy I still have my hand intact. I do want to continue to grow, because I feel like my specific style, wind, calm down. I feel like my specific style can grow from what it is right now. The one thing I can't draw for poop, like to save my life, is hands. They're always the hardest thing to draw. That's why in most of my drawings, you always see either the characters have their hands behind their head, behind their back, or in their pockets. Never at face value are you ever gonna see my characters showcasing their hands. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you any hands. Draw hands. So if there's anything I do want to learn, is how to draw hands, how to kind of perfect that, because hands are very expressive, especially in drawings. Hands are just like one of the most expressive ways to showcase what the character is feeling. And I don't want my characters to always feel like they're hiding something because they have their hands in their pockets or heading away. noise you're currently hearing is the sink. I'm drawing this in the kitchen. God, I feel like every sound is amplified. Like I literally feel like you guys could hear me breathe. I'm probably not doing this any justice by covering like half the picture with my arm. But it's like, at this point it's like, I'm already there. What can I do to stop it? Nothing. Almost done. I believe this is the one we use. Yes. You don't well, at least me, I don't normally know how the drawing's gonna end up. I kind of just let it draw itself in a sense. Like, I have an idea, I have a concept of what it is I want, but like, on days like today, I just picked up the pencils and my tools and I just started drawing whatever the paper wanted me to draw. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, like an empty canvas will tell you what it wants, like, but sometimes it really does. Like, at least for me, whenever I draw and I listen to music, I kind of let the music inspire my hand movements, the way I color, the way what concept of a drawing I make. I feel like the music really heavily inspires and that dictates that. But on days like this where I'm not listening to music, I kind of let my thoughts sort of sway the way the drawing goes. I personally had an interview for a job, so I feel like drawing flowers was eminent because flowers again represent growth to me. They represent change, they represent beauty, and I feel like at this point in time I am ready for a change. I'm ready for something new, something beautiful, hopefully. Not that I'm like counting down the hours, but like, you always want to expect something greater from yourself. You always want to do better. The only reason why we fall is to get back up, not to stay grounded. So definitely am looking forward to new possibilities that might come my way. But for the time being, I'm just living life with my choices. I feel like that's it. I don't know what else I could add onto it on destroying the drawing. So I'll leave it at that. I always end my drawings with my signature. I'm just trying to see what place would that be good if I were to put like on the white spots. It kind of defeats the purpose of having them. But like if I have it here, I feel like right here would be a good spot. I feel like I'll end up destroying the drawing either way. So right here would be fine. Kind of define that smiley face. And then today's date is April 9th, so 4/9/19. Let's see. I'm just gonna add some last minute touches to this. See what I could do to fix it up a bit, or try to make it a bit more creamy down here. Alright, and that's it. That is my finished drawing for now. Again, most of the inspiration was drawn by my thoughts at the current state of mind and what it is I am thinking about. And right now it's growth and wanting to pursue growth and wanting to do more. So I feel like this is a rather interesting drawing because I did draw myself in a confident pose, something I know at this point in time I'm in a sense sort of lacking, kind of the confidence in things, but for sure it's more so a learning curve, something I definitely want to work on. And I don't know, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope it was entertaining. I hope my voice wasn't too distracting, and if it was, if I do another one, I won't talk as much. But yeah, this is my completed drawing, more or less. I don't know what else to say. I think that's it. Well, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it.